Everybody, we are back. It is Take Don't Lie, your favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything. You guys already know what to do. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it, and leave a comment if you dislike it. All right. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out the car facts I just dropped too. Break it down. Derek Carr. My man BD just did a Trayvon Merrig. You got somebody told you how to pronounce it right, bro. Merrig.
Did I pronounce it wrong?
Yeah. You're pronouncing it wrong. Yeah. It's Merrig.
Right. I got to work on it.
It's cool, man. I feel like sometimes people don't even watch the video; they just comment. So
it's actually funny because for his entire career, I called Yannick Ngakoue Yannick Ngakoue,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then when he came to the Raiders, they were talking to him, one of the reporters, and then he was like, "Yeah, my name is pronounced Yannick," and I was like, "Wow, okay, I've been calling this guy the wrong name his entire career," So it's tough. It's tough to get, especially if you've been calling someone, because when I discovered Trayvon Merrick when I was watching Jeff Gladney at TCU before, when Trayvon Merrick was a sophomore.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know how to pronounce that name, and I just called him Morig or whatever. So I've been calling him Morig but John Gruden pronounced his name the worst though.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that? He would always say Mering, like ING at the end. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not pronounced like that, John, but hey.
Yeah. Anyways, follow us on Twitter at @TMarkSeanNFL, at BD Williams 18. And also, like you always say, get you some Manscaped, guys. Discount code TDL. All right. So, we're getting ready for the Broncos. The Raiders coming off of, a ugly game. It's ugly all around. And they got the Denver Broncos, who are also coming off an ugly game, ugly all around, but they didn't lose their coach. So that's totally different to these two teams. And, the Raiders are going into Denver, and they're going to try to, bounce back. And, if they get a good win, the Chargers are playing the Ravens. They're really only a game back from first place. If they can go in there and get a good win, they could get right back at it, right? And, they're taking on a Broncos team that started off 3-0. But they played a lot of weak teams. People said the Raiders played a weak team, but the Denver played the Steelers, and they kind of got their butts handed to them pretty much. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup. I think the Raiders just have to be ready to play. If they come ready to play, I think they have a good chance to win this one, especially with the way the defense has looked the last couple of weeks for Denver. They haven't been as strong as they were the first three. And I'm pretty sure BD will say the same for the offense. So I'm covering defense today, and BD's covering offense. And I'm pretty sure he'll say the same about the offense.
Before we jump too far into it,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It's I think that, just from what I've been studying from the Raiders defense so far, it's a big improvement in terms of just getting off the field on third downs. Huge improvement. And it's really frustrating, because if this is what the Raiders defense was last year for what the Raiders offense was, to complement what the Raiders offense was last year, Raiders offense was ball control, put together long drives, take a long time off the clock. Okay, kick a field goal. I know that the fans didn't like that, but that strategy would work great with this defense right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But what's happening is, and you've talked to me about it a lot online. I've seen posts about it on Twitter. You just had an article come out. They're relying on big chunk plays in the passing game, and it's stalling their drives. They're going deep a lot more often. Fans say that they wanted to go deep, but look what happens. You're going to get a lot more 3-and-outs doing stuff like that, right? And so I think that's something that we gotta hopefully we'll see the Raiders kind of get back to. I think that's a Greg Olsen staple anyways, is putting together long drives. That's his thing.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the Raiders can get back into that and just take a whole bunch of time off the clock and, capitalize when their defense does get a stop, when their defense forces a 3-and-out or, forces a punt, something like that, go down, at least kick a field goal, take a whole bunch of time off the clock. That's what this offense needs to get back to in order to complement the defense, because otherwise the defense is going to have to turn into a top 5 defense, taking the ball away and getting tons of sacks, tons of interceptions, tons of fumble recoveries, in order for the way that this team, the way that the offense is operating right now. What do you think? Do you think that this defense poses, an opportunity for the Raiders to get back into that ball control mindset?
I think so. I mean, I hope so. I mean, what they're doing is not working. That's what's bothering me. And, people are just ignoring it. I mean, basically what's happening is, the first 3 weeks, everybody's excited about them being vertical. The last 2 losses, they just act like they aren't. And just go back, I've seen stuff on all over, like, oh, maybe they'll do less short passes. I'm like, bro, they're like last in short passes. Yeah. They're second to last. I posted on Twitter. Of course, that really didn't go as much as if I would have said something negative about Carr. But I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, they aren't doing it. They're not throwing the ball. All they do is throw it deep. And it's killing drives. Derek Carr is passing up short stuff and throwing deep. And, people just, the narrative stays out there that, they're just throwing short or whatever. But you guys can lie to yourselves all you want. But I mean, the truth is that this is a vertical passing team and they need to calm down or they're going to keep losing because they can't score points depending on explosive plays. And I mean, that's why I wrote that article because, when I wrote an article about Greg Olsen and I talked about how they're relying on big plays, some dude left a comment like, I don't think they're relying on big plays. So I'm saying, like, what are you guys watching sometimes? I guess that's my thing is like, what are we watching? Are we watching the game? Are we just like watching the game with like our own thought process? No matter what happens, that it doesn't matter what happens in the game. We just walk out of there with whatever that we want to think. And I think that's a problem with a lot of, not just Raiders fans. I'm not just trying to get on Raiders fans, really. That's with all fans, to be honest. I mean, you'll see. I mean, I saw somebody get on Patrick Mahomes because he wasn't scoring enough points. Your stats are too good. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand the argument. Like, let's watch the game. Let's watch what's happening and just go with what's happening in the game. Let's not leave the game with like our own narrative about what we thought about the guy before. Like, ignore everything. It's like one of the guys in the Carfax he watched my whole video and then said that, oh, it's what I see is that Carr is predetermining. I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like the whole predetermined thing, like that doesn't happen in like 3 years. Like, I don't know. I'm just tired of like that kind of discourse. Let's watch what's going on. It's not happening anymore. Like, stop saying stuff that's not happening. Stop ignoring Derek Carr running around like an idiot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he broke like 3 tackles against the Chargers in one play and rolled out. I don't know.
Yeah. It's I think that this style of offense where it's a big emphasis on throwing the ball deep. I think that could work a lot better if the run game was able to reel off like some chunk runs. So it'd be like, okay, we missed on first down, let's go run it. Oh, and let's get 6 yards.
Yeah.
And now it's 3rd and 4. Right. But what's happening is they're running it and now it's 3rd and 8. So like that it's like it's impossible to keep up with that. Like the run game is so bad. It's not gonna help you out. It's only gonna catch defense off guard if you like barely use it and then you just kind of use it every once in a while. That and so if it is gonna be a high volume passing attack because the run game isn't very good, then a lot of that volume has to come from, like you're saying, the short stuff. It's like it's throwing that choice route when it comes open, right? Yeah. It's like shoot, spider to wide banana. Who cares? Just throw it. Like let's get some solid completions in the passing game that are 5-6 yards. It's all good. That's how you stay on schedule. Excuse me. So yeah, I guess we'll see. Why don't you just jump into the Broncos defense and show us what you think the Raiders can do there if they can take advantage and put together some long drives against these guys.
Last thing I'll say before I get into the Broncos defense, I do want to say that I agree with you. The Raiders just need first downs, and you're talking about 3rd and long. I don't think always it was 3rd and long last game. I mean, they had 2 plays on the 3rd and 2. He rolled out and threw deep to Bryan Edwards, and Edwards should have caught it. But I mean, he also could have just ran for a first down. And we're on schedule. Yeah. And then the 3rd and 4, the pick to Zay Jones. I mean, he had Hunter Renfrow on a quick drag. And like, that's not sexy. It's not going to get you, I don't know. It's not going to get you on, the timeline and you get you good praise on Twitter, I guess. But the Raiders just needed first downs. They need first downs. They need long drives, and then they can start going deep again. They need to make sure that they can stay on schedule. But all right, anyways. Let's get it.
Jump into this Fangio defense. Let's see what you got here, man.
All right. So we're going to start off here with the run defense. All right, so we got the run defense for the Broncos, which is hit and miss. Okay, so the run defense for the Broncos is very hit and miss. All right, so some games they're a good defense against the run, some games they're not. So against the Steelers, they were not, but they still have some good players in there that can make some some cause some penetration, and they're also, they're well coached, and a lot of these guys have been in the same defense forever. So you'll see them make a lot of plays in the run game. You'll see it here against the Ravens. They do a good job. All the linebackers stay steady, fill their gaps. Everybody makes a play. You'll see Justin Simmons, he comes down a lot and makes a lot of plays in the run game too. But however, they play light in the box. So if you play a lot of shotgun against them, there's going to be some runs there for you, right? Especially if you do some power runs, which I expect the Raiders to do this week. A lot of more gap. You see duo there. A lot of duo, a lot of power, a lot of pulling. You see some counters here from the Steelers and all different types of runs here, right? You see duo one more time. It's beautiful from Najee Harris and the Steelers, right? So you can run the football on this team, but you just got to do some power stuff. I think you got to stay in shotgun, spread them out a little bit, and do some power, and not try to have all their linebackers in the box and try to do some 22 personnel. So we got the pass rush and the blitz. So you always got your boy Von Miller, man. He's always going to be explosive off the edge. He doesn't have the same step that he always has, but he's going to be there. Almost forces a pick there for Ben, right? And then it's just they get a little bit of pressure, but most of the time, guys, the quarterback's just making sandwiches back there if they rush forward. You see, he's just making sandwiches. You just see sandwiches being made by Lamar Jackson. Look at this one. I mean, who they rush forward, Lamar Jackson has all the time in the world. You just look. I can fake. You can't give a quarterback that much time, right? So what did the Broncos do to beat that, right? What did they do to beat that? So we're watching with the Steelers one more time. Watch this. Ben Roethlisberger gets a chance to make some sandwiches here. Right. And the Steelers don't have a good line, guys. You know what I mean? So the pass rush with 4 is a struggle for the Broncos. So what do? They blitz, right? They blitz more than they have ever before. So the last 2018, 2019, they blitzed 24% of the time. Now they're blitzing 34% of the time, which is 5th in the NFL, right? And you see there's a stunt there with the blitz. So they do a lot of mixtures with the blitzes. They have really good blitzes, actually. It makes you wonder why they didn't blitz more before, right? So you see how they fake 45 and then they send 30, catches you off guard, right? And then they send 45 and he comes on a delay blitz, right? 45, he comes on a blitz all the time. Sorry, I didn't know his name off the top of my head, guys. I guess I should have researched that, but I call it 45. There you go. Shelby Harris coming in there with a delay blitz. So they blitz pretty heavy, right? And you'll see one more blitz right here. And this time they bring everybody, right? They bring 7. Can't get that ball off quick. So, Derek Carr has been really good against the blitz. Every team has blitzed him a lot. He's made a lot of plays. So we'll see what the Broncos try to do. If they try to blitz, I mean, the Raiders might have some good chance to burn them. And then I just want to feature Justin Simmons just because he's a dog. He's a beast, right? You check him out, man. He be running these man matches, running these cover 3 man match. He comes down, he robs everything. You see him against Mark Andrews. So you're going to see him cover Dan Waller inside a lot. See him come down on Andrews again. Just look at this is textbook. Knocking that ball away, letting him know. All right. So there is times though where you can beat Simmons, right? Especially if you have an elite tight end like Darren Waller. I mean, guys are going to get beat by elite tight ends. You know what I'm saying? That's Isaiah Oliver. So when you got Mark Andrews on him, Mark Andrews was a little cocky, putting a hand up early. I thought that was a little cocky, but he was right. But he was able to box him out there because he's just a bigger player. So sometimes when you get a good matchup with a great tight end, like you see Mark Andrews right there, but Simmons is almost there. But that was you can still win sometimes if you get a good tight end lined up against Justin Simmons, but he's gonna win some too just because he's elite. All right, and then attacking in the secondary, we always talk about these guys. It's another cover 3 man match, quarters man match, whatever you want to call it, right? It's another one of those teams. So I liked how they're attacked the last couple weeks. All right, so you're going to see this one. I really like this one. So this is a mesh with 2 verticals. All right, so we got a mesh with 2 verticals. And watch what this does to Justin Simmons, right? It puts Justin Simmons in a bind right here. He has to come up. And then it leaves the corner who has outside leverage one-on-one. And Deontay Johnson just beats him. Nice throw by Ben. Touchdown. So that's a great design there, right? And then you see Mills here. Of course, Lamar Jackson has so much time. Marquise Brown beats both safeties. Great catch.
Oh my
right?
God.
So, yeah, that was just beautiful, bro. And then the choice routes work against them a lot. So the Steelers won a lot of choice routes. See right here, you got choice shallow. Bam, Ben's a little late with that one, but it's on time, first down. All right. And then you got halfback choice. You got choice dragon, which the Raiders run. Halfback choice here. And what this does is because, because of their rules, right, it's hard for, to line up somebody. So Justin Simmons has to come down. He can't handle an angle route that quick, right? He's coming down. That gives it easy for Najee Harris. He just cuts right back inside. So then you got the dagger concept, which I really like this one against them. And this is for people who say Lamar Jackson can't read the field, because this is one of the only times I've seen somebody take the seam on the dagger. And that was the right decision. You missed it, but just check yourself if you say he can't read the field. All right. But yeah, I think this defense is beatable for sure. They're not as talented as I thought. I mean, Surtain is young, so he can make some plays, but Ojimita on the other side, 23. I mean, he could be attacked all day. You could attack him.
Ojemudia, yeah.
Ojemudia,
yeah. He's been a weak link on that defense for a while. I'd say, he's had a couple good plays here and there, but I definitely think that, in comparison to everyone else, we're talking about Justin Simmons, we're talking about Patrick Surtain, Kareem Jackson. Yeah, Ojemudia, definitely that's the target. Who's playing nickel for them? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I think it's Callahan's hurt right now. So, oh man, I can't think of some man who's playing nickel for them. But
so that's a potential matchup too. Then right there. So
see, a lot of teams didn't attack their nickel though. You know what I mean? A lot of teams, what they try to do is they try to make the safeties out of position so they can get one-on-ones outside. Right? I mean, that's kind of what you want to do, especially with the man matches. I mean, because what they do in their rotation, you can get a one-on-one with the safety with the slot. With the slot guy, you play a 3-by-1, you can get a one-on-one with the safety all day if you set it up correctly, right? Especially if you mix in that post with it from the 3-by-1, you can get that one-on-one with the safety, and that puts them in a tough position, especially if you put somebody like Henry Ruggs there, or you put somebody that can get some quick separation or deep separation. You can create that one-on-one. Of course, you need the time, which is the thing, which is the factor behind all of beating these man match coverages. But, I think the last two lines that we saw, I mean, the Ravens line is not that good. Either is the Steelers. And, the Broncos, they struggled to generate pass rush a little bit, especially with 4. And they have to blitz. The last two teams that gave the Raiders a lot of trouble were able to rush with 4. I mean, the Bears only blitzed them like 6 or 5 times. I mean, and there's a couple creepers. So it wasn't like natural blitzes, right? There's like 2 creepers. So they only blitzed them like 4 times. Chargers did the same thing, right? So that's why the Raiders had a lot of issue, but they're facing a different team. I mean, the Broncos have to blitz. I mean, they really can't get pressure outside of that, and they're not playing the Giants anymore week 1. So they have to generate pressure some type of way. And I think that's a benefit to the Raiders, because teams that have blitzed the Raiders a lot, the Raiders have put up a lot of points. So, and teams that don't blitz the Raiders, they don't put up a lot of points. So, I mean, maybe Fangio tries to take that strategy, but is that going to work for him?
It's a really interesting matchup, because like you're saying, first 3 weeks, it was a lot of blitz heavy teams and teams that play a lot of man coverage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we saw the Raiders capitalize, especially in the deep passing game. Everyone was really excited when the Raiders went to Staley, against Chargers, when they went to the Bears, right? Like Desai, Sean Desai, all of a sudden not blitzing and playing like, this man match, like too high safety, kind of cover 7 looks, all that stuff. Right now, the Raiders had a hard time. Okay. And I think that obviously against the Bears, there was other factors weighing in there. Yes. But Fangio, he comes from that same, like he runs the same defense as Staley and Fangio, and Desai, like they're all his former assistants. So this is like 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row where it's like the same defense. But what you're showing is they're struggling to get a pass rush with 4. So they are having to blitz. So that's going to add an interesting dynamic. I think that's going to be something to keep your eye on for sure. But hopefully the Rays just kind of get back to their old identity, which is working for them. and not have to
please just move the football.
Rely on that. Yeah.
They're 21st in yards per drive this year, bro. Like, they're not moving the football. So, I mean, they weren't moving the football the first 3 weeks, in my opinion. They would just get some deep balls, and they would, throw it deep, and then they would get a big chunk play, then another chunk play, and then another chunk play. And you can't depend on chunk plays for a long period of time, especially when you start playing these teams that play zone. And it's more just bothering me the way this offense has been playing.
You put the film out there, these teams are going to adjust to that. Like, it's bothering. And then you got to come up with something else, right? And then defenses are going to adjust, and then you got to come up with something else, and defenses are going to adjust. What the Raiders came out this year with, right? Three defenses in a row couldn't adjust, but the Chargers could, the Bears could.
Bears could.
So now the question is, when are the Raiders going to adjust, right? So hopefully that's what we see this week.
Yeah, because the Bears, they just said, you don't throw short, so we're just going to drop.
Yeah.
And we're going to dare you to do it. And then when they had chances to throw deep, I mean, they had somebody always over there. So, I mean, it's like the one play where Darren Waller's wide open, he runs like 29 yards, should have been like an epiphany to everything, because they left Darren Waller wide open underneath. You know what I mean? Like, that should tell us everything about what's happening and how teams are playing them. They're playing them to stop their explosive plays, and they keep trying to get explosive plays when they're being stopped, right? And that's the problem, right? And I think they have to just get back to being on schedule. That's what I'm saying. Like, hit these choice routes, throw some routes to the running backs, to get some movement, get Waller back on choice routes. Waller hasn't ran a choice route since week 1. That's a problem. That's a big problem. That's all he did last year. 107 catches. That's all he did. He was run choice routes. That's all him and Derek Carr did. And they're never wrong. They never mess up. I've been talking about Hunter Renfrow messed up routes for a while. And that timing is better with Waller, and they got to get that going. They got to get him back into being the choice route guy. I'm sorry. Like, the Saints game last year, he ate. There's Ravens game, he ate on choice routes. He scored a touchdown. I mean, like, you could think of the Jets game last year, he had 200 yards, just running choice routes all day. You know what I mean? And different types of routes like that. So they have to get him open and have to get him going underneath. I mean, it's this deep stuff is taking him out of the game. That's kind of how I feel about it. And then teams are not even playing him anymore. They don't even care about him anymore. They're not double teaming anymore. There's no more brackets. There's no any of these things that people think is happening. There's a bracket week 1 against the Ravens, and they threw to him anyways. So there's no more brackets anymore. There's nothing. Nobody's double teaming him. He's being left alone at this point now. Throwing the ball.
Gotta eat.
Throw the roast.
Gotta eat.
Throw the roast.
And really, and here's what it just comes down to me. You can draw, crazy plays and a great scheme and all this stuff. Okay. You got a 6'6" tight end who can run 4.4s. All right. Who's guarding him? You know what I'm saying? Like, he needs to be the focus. He needs to be the focal point, because it's like, these guys don't fall on, don't grow up on trees. This is incredibly unique athlete to play the tight end position, even in like the history of the league. So it doesn't make sense why, he's not the focal point. And I feel like I sense a little bit of frustration from Darren Waller, just from some of his body language out there. I think that you keyed me in on that anyways. All right. So why don't we jump over to the Teddy Bridgewater offense?
Okay.
It's Teddy Bridgewater, right? That's the quarterback.
Yeah. We're terrible today with the names, bro. Sorry. Broncos fans are going to be so mad.
Yeah.
Because you know the names of the players.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, come on.
We're just coaches. Yeah. Coaches would say 45 too. They would.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the number. I knew it was Teddy Bridgewater just when I said it. It sounded weird. Because he's Broncos quarterback now. Okay, so biggest thing with the Denver Broncos offense is what I'm noticing, like a lot of just first down, second down, not a lot of success, and just like drives kind of stalling especially when they go to pass on first down. It's, they have a 45.3% first down success rate. That's runs and passes, which is 30th in the league. So they can get off schedule early. Okay. And when I was watching this offense, I wasn't like super impressed with really anything that I was seeing. And I just noticed that this team really struggles to like get a win on first down. And so, I mean, that's gonna be crucial for the Raiders to try to see if they can get them, long in the down and distance. And because this team does like to be balanced, the Broncos like to be balanced. They like to run the ball, and then they're going to pass to supplement it. But if you can get them kind of out of that kind of balanced mindset and get them into the third and longs, I think that this defense has a much greater chance of success, because their third and long success rate for the Broncos is ranked 21st in the league. They only convert 29.2% of their third and longs. Every once in a while it's going to happen. Teddy Bridgewater, he's, a starter in the NFL for a reason, because he's efficient, right? He's going to make a good read. He's going to protect the ball. It's not going to be spectacular to watch ever from Teddy Bridgewater, right? But he's going to make good decisions out there. He's going to he's going to do his best to keep the offense ahead of schedule, but there's just like, if it's drops, if it's, guys just not coming down with catches in tight windows, or if it's just like the first and second reads are taken away and Teddy Bridgewater has to like now, get to, late in the progression, find someone, that's when this team struggles a little bit. So I thought that was interesting. The other thing is that I was watching, first thing that I noticed, I was like, okay, this offensive line, I think it could be a little suspect. And I've heard mixed reviews from their tackles. Bobby Massey is the right tackle. Garrett Bowles is the left tackle. And when I watched them, especially against Pittsburgh, those guys did not look good. Okay. They really struggled, in my opinion, whether it was like power rushes, okay, or whether it was like a speed rush. They were kind of getting their butts whooped a little bit. I think Teddy Bridgewater is a little bit, he's a mobile guy.
Yeah,
he can move around, so he wasn't. He was able to help himself out and make some plays, even though that the pass protection was kind of suspect, in my opinion. Lloyd Cushenberry, though, that guy's good.
Yeah,
the center. Oh man, that's a legit center in the NFL, especially after watching all these Andre James cut-ups. Oh my God, Lloyd Cushenberry for the Broncos. Like there's a couple plays he was going head to head against Cameron Hayward, holding his own against Cameron Hayward. And even when he's in his pass protection, like he's got great footwork. He's like delivering blows, delivering shots to help out his guards. Lloyd Cushenberry, he's really good, but I think that exterior of this offensive line is, I think that's really the biggest area of struggle for them in terms of blocking. So Garrett Bowles, Bobby Massey, hopefully our edge rushers, Yannick Ngakoue, Max Crosby, can just get after these guys and make it a tough day, for sure. So the next thing I want to talk about is their run game. Okay, they like to run the ball. Okay, Melvin Gordon and now Javonte Williams. Unfortunately, Broncos have Javonte Williams. I think he's going to be a really good back in the NFL for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay? These guys have been able to take advantage, have some big, huge runs so far this year. And I think that is honestly skewing how good this offense looks statistically. Because if you take these big chunk runs out from these backs, this is probably like a bottom 5 offense in the NFL, if we're being completely honest, or at least bottom 10. But some of these huge runs that they get, and just really good looking runs from both these running backs, really is something that is helping this offense out. Is Melvin Gordon hurt? Do you know?
He's questionable.
He's questionable. But Javonte Williams, I mean, there's no step down there. It just comes down to how many times Javonte Williams is going to be able to handle, toting the rock, and he's young. He's got fresh legs in the NFL, so he probably will be fine having the ball, carrying the ball 25, 30 times maybe. So I think that those guys are going to be dangerous. The Raiders got to step up their run defense. We've seen the Raiders' run defense struggle recently, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that it'll be like, they'll get a stop, right? They'll tackle, these guys short to gain on first down, or second down. But then like a couple drives later, it'll be like a 20-yard run.
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes it look like the run defense isn't like performing as well as it should. But the Raiders defense, like they got like, the way the run defense works, one link in the chain breaks, and all of a sudden it looks like you got a terrible run defense, even though it's just one guy, not, not winning, right?
Yeah.
And I think that just like how not great this team is rushing, like throwing the ball, you don't need to sell out to pass, like for the pass rush. Like Gus Bradley doesn't need to be like, okay, we're not sacrificing our pass rush for run defense here.
Yeah.
You can do that a little bit this game. I think I don't think that Teddy Bridgewater is going to sit back there, and start throwing, 50-yard bombs if you're not rushing it. Like it's not crucial that they get like tons of pressure, especially with how these tackles aren't really great. I think that the interior guys can just kind of focus on stopping the run, and that's going to help this defense out. So yeah, and then some of the guys that they got, Jerry Jeudy, he's always going to be dangerous. He's going to get some. He has good track record against the Raiders.
Yeah, he's out though.
He's out. Okay, and Cortland Sutton's out too, right?
I don't think so.
I thought it was Cortland Sutton that was out.
No, that's Jerry.
Okay, Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler are out.
Okay, so shoot, yeah, you got to stop the run.
I mean that's part of the reason why the Broncos struggle a little bit, because they lost those two guys. But
yeah, so okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, got to stop the run. I haven't seen anything except negative reviews from Cortland Sutton so far this year, and when I'm watching it, I'm not seeing anything that he's doing that's popping off the tape, honestly. So I'm not too worried about there. Hopefully, the Raiders don't allow Cortland Sutton to have like a breakout back to health game, kind of thing. But it's definitely going to come down to stopping the run against it in this one.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater, he's got to play like Carr is. Like they're just throwing deep all the time. He's like really high on deep passing percentage. But so that's why they were balling early on. They had KJ Hamler and those guys are able to get deep. And but now it's just down to like Cortland Sutton and Tim Fitzpatrick and like Kendall Hilton and those type of dudes. So it's not the same wide receivers course either. So we'll see how that goes. But Javonte Williams is still a beast. They got to worry about tackling this week.
Yeah.
He will not go down easy. They're gonna be a little sore actually this week. So I hope the linebackers are ready. I know Denzel Perryman and Abram will be ready for it, but the rest of the dudes, they gotta be ready for it. They gotta be ready.
You know who he looks like right now when I'm watching him? He looks like Josh Jacobs his rookie year.
Yeah, that was my comp, bro, for him. I thought he was Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. And I think he got caught from behind on a big long run that probably like hurt his pride a little bit, So he doesn't have like crazy wheels or anything, but it's just burst and just violence. And you got to bring it, and you got to bring multiple friends to the party to tackle this guy.
Yeah, he's not going down. There's that play against the Ravens, like drags 3 guys. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
But I think the Raiders have done a good job of rallying to the football and like just like their gang tackling, that has been a good thing. I think it's, there's just certain things where it's just like, okay, they're going to line up like this with the formation of the boundary. They're going to start shifting guys over and like a bunch of motions. And, one time, one of those plays, someone's not going to be in the right spot, adjusting to what the offense's, formation keeps on shifting to. And, like a run play happens, because of that. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like tons of motion from the Broncos offense, tons of shifts, just so that they can start confusing these guys and continue to run the ball against them, because it's going to be a cat and mouse game in the trenches, fitting the run for Gus Bradley going up against this offense. That's what it's going to be about. I'm not really concerned about the pass game hurting them, but we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, the Raiders have been pretty good against the pass this year, so we'll see how that goes going forward. But it's going to be the Raiders just got to come to play, man. That's the thing to me. You got to come to play. Doesn't matter the strategy or whatever. They haven't really showed up the last couple of weeks. So especially offense, and they definitely didn't show up last week. So they got to show up this week. And I think they will. I was thinking in my head, when Dennis Allen got fired, right? And that team was terrible. And they were playing like a really good Chargers team they were going to play the next week. I don't know if their Chargers were good. Don't quote me. But the Chargers were better than the Raiders. The Raiders weren't supposed to beat them. And then they almost did. They played like one of probably the best games of the season. Like Derek Carr had like a breakout game with 4 touchdowns. So I think with the new coach, I think that first game is always like live for a team. And that Raiders game in 2014 was the example, because they came out there and they almost beat the Chargers team. They almost, stole a win. They lost like every game after that. But that's what I mean. Like, so I think this game, I like the stuff that Rich is saying. I like his analytical. I like the stuff that he's saying about analytics. I love that answer. I love that answer he had about analytics, where he's talking about how, he has the guy in the booth and they're going to think together and they're going to make the right decision. And he's not going to just go off his heart or his mind. I really like that, his thought process on that. And on analytics and different things he was talking about his press conference. You just have to catch it because, Raiders media ask stupid ass questions. So you have to catch the two or three guys who ask good questions in there and his answers, because the rest of them are like, so what do you think about the Vegas weather, Rich?
Yeah, the rest of them are like, it's the first time you're a head coach. What are the emotions that go into that? Like, come on, guys.
Like some dude asked him, like,
stop asking that.
Since you like kicking, are you just gonna kick field goals instead of going for it? And he was like, what? What are you asking? like you like kickers, so you're gonna kick field goals, right? And he was like, no, I'm gonna listen to Tim. And he's ready to talk analytics. He's like, because I do special teams, and that's what we do in special teams is analytics. Yeah. And so I'm an analytical, as basically told you, he's an analytical guy, and he's into analytics. And him and Tim are going to talk analytics through the booth and decide what to do on fourth down. That's all you want to hear, guys. I'm sold.
Yes,
I'm sold.
I'm sold. But it does come down to getting that right play in.
Yeah.
Right. And executing that. So the decision, great. We'll see what the scheme of the design looks like.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't line up in 22 personnel with Alec Ingold back there and Derek Carr in the center. And everybody's like, zone lead.
If they line up in 22 personnel, Derek Carr needs to motion out wide. Okay. And then wildcat quarterback with Alec Ingold, handing off a sweep to, Kenyon Drake or something like that. That's what it needs to be. I don't want to see any of these zone leads on 3rd and 2.
No, I'm done with those.
Or 4th and 2, yeah.
When they did the inside zone read with Carr, man, that was a crazy play by Roquan Smith. I felt so bad for Carr there because Roquan Smith he went to his gap, which is like, I think he was like the opposite A gap. That was his gap, but he saw the play and just got Derek. Derek was like caught off guard. He didn't do this. That was a crazy play by Smith. But they got to do some other things. They got to mix it up a little bit.
Do we have any update on Carr's neck?
No, they didn't say anything about his neck. No.
I thought he broke his neck.
He did. He got fucked up. How's that a penalty?
I mean, he's a runner. You can't.
He's a
you can't
quarterback.
you can't helmet to helmet a runner.
You can't helmet to helmet a quarterback either.
Yeah, but once he becomes a runner, you can.
I don't believe that, bro. Tom Brady's getting a flag, dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
You can't knock out a quarterback.
Also,
like that,
Tom Brady would never. If I don't care who his offensive coordinator is, if they said, "Okay, we're running a zone read," he's checking out of that play. Or he's just handing it off. He's not going to actually take it.
I was talking about the sneak. No, the sneak is where I thought that was like, you can't hit a quarterback like that, bro.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, you can't. You can't do that. But Derek Carr's been getting creamed all year. I don't think he's got a roughing a passer all year. He's been getting creamed all year. I don't get it. So, but
yep. Well,
maybe Gruden's gone. They like Rich, and we'll get some penalties.
We'll see. Rich has to go schmooze these refs early.
Yeah.
As soon as the game starts. Yeah.
Maybe Roger Goodell's like, hey, we like Rich. We like Mike Mayock.
Yeah.
He's worked for the network. They're in charge now. Let's lay off.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they got a call all year. Bro. Like Eddie Jackson literally held Brian Edwards by his arms. like Brian Edwards was like this. Had to like get him off. And it was like incomplete. And then Derek Carr is going viral because he missed it. Eddie Jackson literally held him.
Yeah.
I can't take it anymore. So hopefully the NFL is like, you got some good guys in there now. You ain't got Crazy John who's talking crap about Roger Goodell.
It's tough. It's tough to play against the refs. You always lose that one, right? If you're playing against the refs. That's Anyways. It. That's it from us, guys. We appreciate everyone for tuning in to the Taped On Live podcast. We're doing our little preview of the Denver Broncos game. It's a big one. Rich Bisaccia is now the head coach. Raiders got some questions that they got to answer, going into this one. So it's going to be a fun one. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, myself at BD Williams 18, Marcus at the Mark John NFL. Also, make sure Okay, if you're struggling, you got to get some gifts for someone. The holiday season is coming up. Okay, use the discount code TDL at Manscaped. Okay, for your brothers, your uncles, your dad. Okay, shoot, you could use this. A lady could use the Manscaped as well. Okay, it's a really high quality trimmer. Okay, they have body wash now. They have some things that are new on their site that you can use the discount code TDL to get 20% off plus free shipping at Manscaped. So make sure you hit that up every time the TDL code is used. Okay, we get positive analytics, and it kind of helps our relationship out with them, and it helps sponsor this channel. So we appreciate that. That's it, Raider Nation. Anything else, Marcus?
Nah, man, I'm good. Peace out.
All right, we out.